Somebody turn on the AC, because it's Angel Caruso.
The prophecy has come to pass.
Hello and welcome back. Today I'm here to talk about the 1985 classic Santa Claus the movie.
That there would come to us a chosen one. From this day on, you will bring our gifts to all the children.
From the people who brought you Superman the movie, the Salkinds. I love this film. I love it because it reminds me of being the youngest that I can remember. I was at school and the school took us to the cinema. I remember thinking this movie is magical. All of my classmates all around me looking up at the screen and seeing Father Christmas with me. It was an experience. I still believed in Santa back then, so naturally I fell in love with the movie. Every year at Christmas starting from the 90s, I would read every TV guide to see when this film would be showing, and I would make sure I wouldn't miss it. It was my ritual. Loving Dudley Moore as Patch and the perfectly cast David Huddleston, this movie is magical. John Lithgow is the evil toy company CEO, and he is desperate to cover up a scandal and restore the name of his company. BZ is his name, takes advantage of the naive Patch and takes his reindeer flying food for his own gain, mass producing it to a level that people want more of it, like a drug dealer, I guess. This is where the plot goes nuts. BZ plans to have a Christmas 2 on March 25th to sell more of the lollipops that can make you fly. Inside this ludicrous plot is a huge present full of heart, warmth and Christmas cheer. The North Pole is a beautiful place with lots of elves doing their jobs making sure the toys are ready for Christmas. It is just pure wonderment from start to finish, a depiction of what Christmas means to many people, hope and love.
Every year the magic happens again.
Merry Christmas! It certainly should be.
Until now.
This world needs hope and love. I like how this kind man is given the power to be a symbol of hope and love, I guess a bit like Superman is. You can feel the tone of what those movies tried and handed over to this failed movie. Can we call this movie a failure? Sure, if you're talking from a financial sense, but from a critical sense, absolutely no way. The very fact that you are still here listening right now is that this movie touched you in the same way it did me. Excellence. So with that aside, if you have not already seen it, watch Santa Claus the movie. It will make you feel like you were 4 years old again. Now, some facts about Santa Claus the movie. So, conceived by Ilya Salkind in the wake of apparently wanting critical and US box office success of 1983 Superman 3 and its immediate follow-up 1984 Supergirl, Santa Claus the movie was directed by Supergirl director, now I don't know how to pronounce this, Genoa Schwartz, from a story by David and Leslie Newman. Pierre Spengler, Ilya's longtime partner and a longtime collaborator of the Salkinds, joined Ilya as the project's producer. John Carpenter was originally offered the chance to direct, but also wanted a say in the writing, musical score, and final cut of the film. Carpenter's original choice for the role of Santa was Brian Dennehy. That's not a bad choice. Schwartz, however, felt that he needed an actor with more warmth than Dennehy. Lewis Gilbert was another early choice for director, but despite initial interest, he could not agree with the Salkinds over certain aspects of the script. Robert Wise was also offered the chance to direct, but he had a different approach to the story. Guy Hamilton, who had to withdraw from directing Superman the movie in 1976, lobbied hard for the chance to direct this film, but only on the condition that it be either shot in Los Angeles, Vancouver or Rome. Ultimately, the Salkinds chose Schwartz because of their excellent working relationship on Supergirl. Schwartz. Dudley Moore was the Salkinds' top choice to play the lead elf in the film, Ilya Salkind having remembered a scene in Arthur in which Liza Minnelli's character asks Moore if he is Santa's little helper. Moore was attached to the project early on and had a say in both scripting and the choice of director. David Newman's first script draft named Moore's character Ollie, but Moore decided that the name should be changed to Patch. Good choice, which was the nickname of his young son Patrick. Moore had briefly been considered to play in the original script of Superman 3, and for the role of Nigel in Supergirl, he turned down that role but suggested a longtime friend and comic partner Peter Cook for the part. Earlier, Salkinds wanted an American actor to portray Santa Claus because he felt that the film focused on a primary piece of Americana in much the same way that Superman the movie had. Swark screen-tested such actors as David White, who being in his late 60s was considered too old for the role, and Moore's Arthur co-star Bernie Martin. For a while, Ilya Salkind actively pursued Carol O'Connor for the role before Swark showed him David Huddleston's screen test, which won Salkind over. For the role of BZ, the producers wanted a star with a similar stature to Gene Hackman when he had played Lex Luthor in Superman the movie. To this end, they offered the role to Harrison Ford, who turned them down. They made offers to Dustin Hoffman, Burt Reynolds and Johnny Carson, each of whom also turned the part down. Eventually, John Lithgow was settled on after Elias Salkind watched Terms of Endearment and realised that he had a Grinch-type look to him. The role of the ancient elf was written with James Cagney in mind. Though he liked the film's overall idea, Cagney at 84 turned the role down due to being too weakened by age to perform it. Fred Astaire was considered, but when this eventually came to nothing, Dudley Moore suggested his friend Burgess Meredith for the role, which he in the end won. At the time of the film's announcement, the mid-1983, the British press carried reports that diminutive actors such as David Jason, Patrick Troughton and Norman Wisdom should be cast alongside Moore as fellow elves, but none of them were. Santa Claus the movie received negative reviews upon release, with a rating of 22% on Rotten Tomatoes from the 23 reviews counted. Box Office Mojo lists the film's total United States box office gross as $23 million, less than its $30 to $50 million production budget. The film was, however, highly popular in the UK, grossing $5 million. One of them tickets were mine. The film was also going on to become the most repeated Christmas film ever shown on British television. Correct. It just was. It was a great time. Chicago Sun-Times critics Roger Ebert noted some positive points to the film, writing that the film does have an interesting job on visualising Santa's workshop and Santa's elves. He also praised the film's special effects, particularly the New York City flyover sequence involving Santa. Ebert also had some praise for Lithgow's nice, hateful performance, but wrote that the villain is not drawn big enough. He ceded that the young children would probably like most of the film, but the older children and adults are likely to find a lot, if a little, thin. John Lithgow in a 2019 interview said that Santa Claus was one of the tackiest movies I've ever been in. It seemed cheesy and it certainly never stuck, except in England. It is huge over there. I wish I had a nickel for every Englishman who's told me it's their favourite film. In England, that's half of what I'm known for. So there you go. I'm not the only one that was touched by this film. I had no idea of any of these facts, I've just literally read them. So, with that, I'm just going to leave it there. Watch it, it's wonderful.
Somebody turn on the AC, because it's Angel Caruso.